The markets are closed, but the business stories are just heating up. Hello, I'm Raine Musñgi. Catch up with us on Newsfeed Business. Stocks in Asia slipped Friday, though some inched up ahead of key U.S. payrolls data and investors considering prospects that a broader trade war could be averted. Japan's Nikkei 225 had dropped 0.4% as a stronger yen dampened sentiment. In Hong Kong, the benchmark Hang Seng was down 0.2%, but was still expected to end the week stronger, with investors enthused by the prospect of big stimulus plans from Chinese authorities. China's Shanghai Composite also lower by less than 1%, though South Korean shares dragged down 0.2% by battery and e-commerce stocks, who are still set to end the week with gains. Investors were also keeping an eye on India. India's central bank cuts key interest rates for the first time since 2020. The Nifty and Sensex both rallying 0.25% since the announcement. It's been a week that started with U.S. President Donald Trump kicking off a trade war, first by imposing tariffs on Mexico and Canada, then pausing them. Investors have been hesitant to make major moves as threatened duties on China were implemented. The Bank of England cut interest rates 0.25 percentage point on Thursday as it halved its growth outlook for this year and said a jump in inflation will prove temporary. Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey said he expected to be able to cut interest rates further, but stressed that progress could be cautious.
So today we've cut bank rate by 0.25 percentage points to 4.5%. With the progress we've made to reduce inflationary pressures in the UK economy, we've been able to take another step to make monetary policy less restrictive. And this will be welcome news to many. And we expect to be able to cut bank rate further as the disinflation process continues. But we will have to judge meeting by meeting how far and how fast. We live in an uncertain world, and the road ahead will have bumps on it. We expect inflation to increase this year to a peak of about 3.7% before returning to the 2% target. And we will set bank rate to ensure that it does so sustainably. Low and stable inflation is the foundation of a healthy economy, and we will do our job to continue to ensure that.
The British economy has barely grown since mid-2024. The BOE warned that it likely contracted by 0.1% in the fourth quarter. Thursday's rate cut is only the third since the BOE started lowering borrowing costs from a 14-year high in August and leaves British rates among the highest for advanced economies and just above the U.S. Federal Reserve's range of 4.25 to 4.5%. The governor of Bank of England has urged continued U.S. support for two major global economic institutions. Andrew Bailey told the BBC he was following extremely closely whether the Trump administration will change the support for the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. Sources in Washington said the two institutions were caught by a White House executive order for a 6-month review of United Nations and other international organizations. The Project 225, or rather 2025, suggested blueprint for Trump's presidency, which was authored by figures who are now key White House staff, recommended withdrawal from both institutions and termination of financial contributions. Saudi Arabia said it would not establish ties with Israel without the creation of a Palestinian state. The statement comes after U.S. President Donald Trump said the Saudis were not demanding a Palestinian state. Saudi Arabia also rejects any attempt to displace the Palestinians from their land. The statement saying that its stance toward the Palestinians is unnegotiable. In a shock announcement, Trump said on Tuesday that the U.S. would take over the war-ravaged Gaza Strip after Palestinians are resettled elsewhere and develop it economically. He was speaking at a joint press conference with visiting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. His White House press secretary also said that Trump will be meeting with Arab leaders in the coming days to discuss the reconstruction and resettlement effort. Oil prices rose marginally in early Asian trade on Friday, but we're on track for a third straight week of decline as fears China will sap demand outweigh the new U.S. administration's first round of sanctions against Iran. Brent crude futures rose to $74.44 a barrel and were poised to fall 3.2% this week, their steepest drop since September 2024. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was up 0.9 at $71.70 a barrel, down 2.7% on a weekly basis. But Saudi Aramco, the world's largest oil company, said it had significantly raised the March price of its flagship Arab Light crude to Asia to $3.90 a barrel over the Oman-Dubai crude benchmark. The move appeared to briefly stem a sell-off that wiped out a rally that began late last year and driven by increasing demand in Asia, particularly from China and India, in addition to disruptions to Russian supplies due to U.S. sanctions. U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs against Canada, Mexico, and China may prompt these countries to boost trade with alternative partners. That's according to Globe Ethics Foundation, an international non-governmental organization working for ethical leadership. The group says the best way to tackle the threat of increasing U.S. protectionism is to strengthen the World Trade Organization or reform its rules. It added, other free and fair trade systems like BRICS Plus may step in if the WTO fails to fulfill its responsibilities. In the long to medium term, such a parallel system, they said, could lead to major shifts in the global power structure.
The danger is that it is tit for tat, so China will also have, Europe will have their tariffs increase, and that can be a dangerous spiral. Now, the solution is only to try to re-strengthen the World Trade Organization by the member states. And the other one would be to reform WTO rules that allow, even with if one member does not agree, to take action and to proceed. If that is not possible within WTO, we need to have a parallel system like the BRICS Plus try now to build their own free trade or at least a fair trade system. In long term, it will lead to, or midterm, to shifts of power shifts, because what you do if one superpower blocks, you increase the trade with the other partners. So a shift of trade within the global south, within the BRICS plus countries, China, Europe, these are alternatives.
The pressure is on Amazon.com to deliver lofty expectations for cloud computing in its fourth quarter results after the market closed on Thursday. That's after Microsoft and Google's lackluster reports jolted investor faith in big tech's billion-dollar investments in AI. Shares of major tech companies surged in the past 2 years on the belief that massive data center needs for artificial intelligence technologies would power investment for years. But that was before Chinese startup DeepSeek said it had achieved AI breakthroughs at a fraction of the cost, precipitating a sell-off in technology stocks that some say was overdue. Still, Amazon may be better positioned than rivals to capitalize on cheaper AI. Analysts say that's due to its massive cloud business and lower exposure to costly language or large language models that power apps like ChatGPT. Amazon Web Services, the world's largest cloud services provider, is expected to post its strongest revenue increase in 8 quarters at 19.3%, while Microsoft and Meta were both forced to defend their AI spending plans last week. Shares of Google parent Alphabet slumped 8% on Wednesday. Some analysts see the weakness at rivals as a sign that Amazon may have caught up in the AI race through efforts including doubling its investment in Anthropic and offering a wide selection of AI models on its cloud platform. On the lighter side, New York Fashion Week has officially kicked off, starting with 3 designers presenting their collections at the New York Men's Day. They showcased a range of styles, from technical ski wear to nostalgic pieces and cozy ensembles. More than 60 designers are expected to unveil their new collections until February 11th. Business and economy news from around the country in a moment. Newsfeed Business will be back. Stay with us on BNC.
First, updated, on top of everything, and focused on the things that matter most. This is who you want to be. So scan your digital boxes now and search for Bilyonaryo News Channel. Always on top.
Oh, yes, definitely. He's been an inspiration to me for like all my life, not just because of the cooking. I mean, for sure, cooking, before he was even a celebrity or he was on TV, he was already a master of his craft.
Yeah.
But definitely, ang pinaka na-appreciate ko about it is he is able to combine his skills with cooking and storytelling. Kasi as a content creator, that's very important.
Exactly.
And ayun, life-changing talaga siya. I feel like I will be motivated for like the next 5 to 10 years or something like that.
肉每一个动物，只是我没有养它，我不认识它。可是其实它们的生命应该是跟我们家我养的狗，像我的姐妹一样的宝贵。所以有这个念头之后呢，我就再也无法吃肉了。
Welcome back to Newsfeed Business. A new AI studio opens in Manila, promising to fast-track the development, testing, and deployment of AI-powered solutions. Our correspondent Sujin Kim joins us on the phone for that story. Sujin, go ahead.
Raine, the artificial intelligence landscape in the Philippines continues to expand, with both global and local players intensifying efforts to innovate and integrate AI solutions across industries. Now, another game changer has entered the market, promising to further accelerate automation and improve data-driven services for businesses and professionals alike. Ascendian officially launched their Manila AI studio this afternoon in Ayala, Makati City. The studio is designed to fast-track the development, testing, and deployment of AI-powered solutions that can optimize operations and improve overall productivity. The company plans to create at least 6,000 new jobs and generate a $500 million impact over the next 3 years. According to Ascendian, the AI studio is positioned to be a critical enabler for businesses aiming to enhance efficiency and drive profitability by leveraging advanced machine learning and forecasting technologies. Companies can expect significant reductions in operational costs and time. They mentioned AI-driven automation tools have boosted productivity by as much as 50%, enabling teams to accomplish more with fewer resources. And that early adopters of the studio solutions have already reported transformative benefits. Those are latest updates. For now, back to you, Raine.
Thank you so much for that report, Sujin Kim. The Philippines could lose over $1 billion in export revenues due to U.S. President Donald Trump's trade war. A study by the Congressional Policy and Budget Research Department points out higher taxes may be placed on machinery, electronic equipment, coconut products, and seafood, all big exports for the country. The estimated $1 billion loss makes up 10% of what the Philippines exported to America last year, which reached $12.12 billion. Most Filipinos believe the Marcos administration is not doing enough to control the rise in prices of goods and services. A Strat-based and SWS poll shows 58% find the inflation response insufficient, while only 16% are satisfied. The survey was conducted from January 17 to 20. Government data had shown inflation remained at 2.9% last month. Philippine Stock Exchange has so far not been significantly affected by the impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte. Manny Ocampo, Senior Managing Director and Investment and Capital Corporation of the Philippines, explains foreign investors have been unaffected by the impeachment, as most of them are not active in the Philippine market anymore.
Most foreign investors are out already, so maybe I'll call it neutral also on their side. Foreign investors will probably be taking a look at how the midterm elections come out. We've heard it from some guys that we've spoken to, some foreign fund managers. They're taking a look at it for the midterm elections on the political front, at least.
Ocampo notes most foreign investors divest of their investments in the Philippines due to government flip-flopping on economic policies.
We also need to, really expand the universe of listed companies and, promotions from both the regulatory side and, SEC, PSE. The investment bankers, us investment bankers, we've been pushing for listing of companies. It's really a bread and butter line that we have. So anything that facilitates bringing in new companies into the market would be a good thing for us and a good thing for the capital markets in general.
Philippine shares dipped for the second straight day in this week's final trading day. That's due to index rebalancing. The PSE index ended Friday lower by more than 1% to close at 61.54. The day was the worst performer in Asia. Among sectoral indices, only mining and oil ended in the green, with services falling the most at almost 2%. Decliners also outpaced advancers, 115 to 75. Value turnover totaled 6.1 billion pesos. More than half of the day's most active stocks ended in the red. BDO Unibank fell the most at nearly 4%. Meanwhile, in the foreign exchange market, the peso is currently trading at 57.99, strengthening from the previous close of 58.18 to the US dollar. And that's a wrap of today's Newsfeed Business. Thank you so much for making us your daily source of financial insights. I'm Raine Musñgi. Join us again on Monday as we bring you the stories that help you plan your next big, bold moves in business, only here on the Bilyonaryo News channel. Follow the Money is next at 4:30. See you then.
An animal lover, and it's easy to see why. He's behind the cat sanctuaries at Soler North in Quezon City and Soler Entertainment City or SEC in Parañaque. These give abandoned, abused, and special needs cats a safe, loving space to call home. The sanctuaries are not just shelters, they're long-term care havens where the cats get love, medical attention, and a stress-free environment. The one at SEC started out as a small shelter before it was renovated in October last year, the same time when the sanctuary at Soler North was built. Right now, there are about 40 cats at SEC and 20 at Soler North, all under the eyes of security 24/7, making sure they're well fed 3 times a day. Every cat is neutered, dewormed, and vaccinated, and yes, they are all up for adoption. Just like how Razon adopted a stray cat right in front of his house, whom he named Kim Jong-un. G. Baraga, Bilyonaryo News Channel.